Hello everyone, welcome to this session on classification of signals and systems. Basically, signal is a physical quantity which contains both magnitude and direction, as well as it contains some sort of information. The different parameters associated with a signal are time period, frequency, amplitude and phase. A signal is basically classified into two categories. One is a continuous time signal and another one is called as a discrete time signal. Now, a continuous time signal or a discrete time signal can be further classified as deterministic and random signal, periodic, non-periodic signal, energy and power signal, causal and non-causal signal, even an odd signal. Now we'll see this one by one. A deterministic signal with regular pattern, and it contains the magnitude and phase in a certain form. That is, the magnitude and the phase is can be determined. We can say that the magnitude and phase is uniform and deterministic. So a signal with regular pattern and which is certain in magnitude and phase at any given instant of time. This type of signal can be represented by mathematical equations, whereas a random signal is one with irregular pattern and which is uncertain both in the magnitude and phase at any given instant of time, and it cannot be represented by mathematical equation. Its behavior cannot be defined, the random signal behavior, whereas deterministic signal behavior can be predicted. Coming to next, the periodic and non-periodic signal. A signal with regular pattern and which repeats at regular intervals of time is called as the periodic signal. If capital T is the time period of the signal, then a signal f of t is said to be periodic if it satisfies the condition f of small t plus capital T is equal to f of t for all t, small t, that is the scale defined on the x-axis. Now next is the periodic non-periodic signal. So this is a signal which does not repeat at regular intervals of time. Obviously it is not going to satisfy the above condition. Next comes the energy and the power signal. The energy of a signal is given by the equation E is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity mod of ft the whole square dt, and the average power of the signal is given by the equation limit t tends to infinity 1 by t minus t by 2 to t by 2 mod of ft square dt. So the same can be applied for discrete signal as well. So you can see the integral part is just a change here in terms of the summation, and the same case is there with the power for the discrete signal. A signal can be energy signal or it can be a power signal. It can have the value for energy or it can have the value for power, but a signal cannot be both energy and power signal. Coming to next, the causal and non-causal signal. A simple definition of this one: a continuous time signal is said to be causal if it satisfies like ft is equal to 0 for t less than 0. In the same fashion, contrast to this, we have non-causal signal opposite to this one, that is, it is going to exist for t less than 0, but the response is not there, that is f of t is equal to 0 for t greater than 0. That is what we call as a non-causal signal. Then comes the even and odd signal. A signal is said to be even signal if it satisfies the condition f of minus t equal to f of t, and a signal is said to be an odd signal if it satisfies the condition f of minus t is equal to minus of f of t. The same thing applies for discrete signal as well. Next comes equations, that is for signal can be divided into the even part and odd part. So a function ft can be expressed as a sum of the even part and odd part. So we can find out what is the even part of the given function f of t as given by the equations minus of the whole bracket f of t plus of f of minus t. This is going to give you the even part of the function f of t. In a similar fashion, we can get the value for the odd functions as minus of the whole bracket f of t minus of f of minus t. This will give us the odd part. Now in a similar way, you can find out the even part and the odd part for the discrete signal as well. Next, coming to the classification of systems, systems are also classified in a similar fashion to the system. That is, here also we have continuous time system and discrete time system, a linear and non-linear system, time variant, time invariant system, static and dynamic, causal and non-causal, stable and unstable. These are some of the categories of this system. Now first, a linear and non-linear system. A linear system is the one that is going to obey the principle of superposition and principle of homogeneity, whereas non-linear system which does not obey the principle of superposition and the principle of homogeneity. Next comes the time variant and time invariant systems. A system whose input-output characteristics changes with the time, we call it as a time variant system. Whereas a time invariant system whose input-output characteristics not going to change with the time, we call that system as a time invariant system. Then comes the static and dynamic systems. We call that static system also as a memory-less system, because the response of the system here depends only on the present values of the input, but not on the past or the future values. So that's why we call it as a memory-less system. Whereas in opposite to this, we have a dynamic system where the response of the system depends not only on the present values of the input, but it may also depend on the past or the future values of the input. Hence, in order to store those values, we need some memory, and we call that system as a system with memory. Next, we have causal and non-causal system. A causal system, a system whose output at any time t depends on the present and the past values of the input, but not on the future values. Next, the non-causal system, quite different from the above one. That is a system whose output at any time t depends on the future values of the input. Practically, we don't have any system as such, non-causal systems, like whose present value depends on the future inputs. Then comes the stable and unstable system. So there is a criteria called as the bounded input and bounded output criteria for the stability. So a system is said to be Bibo stable if for every bounded input, if it produces bounded output. So it must produce bounded output value for bounded inputs. Then we call that as a stable system. An unstable system is a system which can produce the unbounded outputs for bounded inputs. Then we call that system as a unstable system. Few examples I'm going to solve for this on all the categories in my next video. So keep watching and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.